Me, Cubans are the whitest of all Hispanic.
Flag immigration and give them a reason to place you in removal proceedings.
Is the fact that we are the only country in Latino America that is communist.
Hey guys, it's Blahzaye, and today we're going to be talking about Cubans getting deported. It's kind of what they voted for. We're talking about the Cubans that voted in the first place, the very MAGA Cubans. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the button. Let's go ahead and just get into it. That song is a banger, not gonna lie. Let's go ahead and get into it. Trump administration moves to end temporary status. 530,000 Cubans, Venezuelans, and others. The Biden-era parole programs for people from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela are set to end April 4th. So now everything's starting to roll into those things, into this administration comment. It says Democrats tell you Republican to vote. Now start packing. Florida Cubans fixes. This was crickets from Latinos for Trump. Yeah, they had a whole group, didn't they? And Cubans, FAFO. Marco Rubio's parents were deported without birthright. So we're seeing a bunch of it, especially like for people holding positions in the White House.
You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning, you wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You think I would look pretty.
So she's saying that seeing people that voted for Trump cry about losing security, federal jobs, Cubans crying because they said over here to the comments, 100 Cuban would vote again. Couldn't be happier. I don't regret my vote. I'm cheering on, not. So we're seeing that a couple of MAGA regret it. Trump's doing great, but these, I mean, are they white MAGA voters or are they Cuban MAGA voters? It's a very subset of people. ABC News polling 2 days ago that Democrats' favorability shattered. Republicans getting shattered, especially with the market. I don't know.
The Cuban community was outraged because, for those that know me well, you know, I'm a very political guy, and anyway, so I was reading this article where the Cuban community was outraged because a Cuban citizen was being deported back to Cuba, and I just couldn't help it but to just wonder, you know, now that laws are changing on immigration, and Cubans will be treated just like everybody else that comes to the United States, and you know, once asylum and refugee, whatever you want to call that, has, you know, have to go through the entire process just like everybody else. Are those Cubans from Florida, whatever you want to call it, gonna change their mind and their views on immigration now that they will be treated no different? Even though, you know, those Cuban-Americans feel like they're the shit and they feel like no other immigrants should come to the United States illegally, but their grandparents did. My question is, are they gonna change the way they vote in Florida? Because yeah, I'm sure they have family in Cuba, just like we all do back in our homes, you know. Are they gonna change their views on immigration, on the immigration laws, and change the way they vote, or are they just gonna continue to vote for this dumbass Marco Rubio and the other guy, Dos Santos, whatever the fuck his name is? Are they gonna change the way they vote, or they're just gonna be like, whatever, we here, we got papers, we citizens, we don't give a fuck about them Cubans from Cuba? Anyways, I was just wondering. But yeah, I'm just glad that in some way everybody, you know, if I have to follow the process or I gotta get deported because I'm Mexican, you know, shit, everybody else need to be treated the same.
So yeah, pretty much what he's saying is, I got mine, so you get yours. Or people that have gotten into America, they pull the ladder up and try to not let people come in themselves, right? Exactly. The GOP is done with them. The president, this is Obama's, but this is like, it's cycling in because Cubans are now getting deported again. That's why these Let's Talk Cuban have been coming. And this one says, I don't agree with you, and I have every right not to because Cuba is a political problem. All countries have problems. Let me know what you guys think about that. these comments ain't over here. It's like, yes, 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 I love it. For real, clapping, and people want Cuban deported. Just the ones that voted for MAGA, because you did it to yourself. You knew what was going to happen. This is what Trump's platform was.
Me, Cubans are the whitest of all Hispanic.
So I saw this video come up on my For You page yesterday, and I just noticed there was so much misinformation and hate and just negativity being said about Cuban people. So I figured I would come on here and just inform you guys about the truth and just facts about what is really going on in Cuba and with all these reforms. So I want to start off by saying that nobody is denying the fact that Cuba has had reforms and acts passed that allow us to get to the United States a lot quicker. I totally agree, we do. Now, what wasn't mentioned in that video about the reason why we have these acts and these reforms is the fact that we are the only country in Latino America that is communist. We have been under a dictatorship for 62 years. So, with us being in a communist country, that means that political opposition is completely prohibited. There is no freedom of speech. We also ration our foods. A lot of the times there is no food. There is no clean water. We have free healthcare. Great. It's not good healthcare. We have no medicine. We don't have basic essential medical equipment or even things like band-aids, needles, you name it, we probably don't have it. And yes, the Biden administration did extend Venezuela's reform to cover Cuba, Nicaragua, and Haiti. So it's not just us having this easy access. Now, like I mentioned before, the reason why we have this easy access is because our circumstances are completely different than other countries in Latin America. So whenever you speak about this easy process, there's a reason behind it. It's not.
So tell me what you guys think. So she's saying that they have a streamlined America, the Trump administration coming in, all that stuff is being, processes are being changed, and now actually Cubans are being deported. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Let's go to these comments. It says, yes, babes, thank you for making this video and spreading the truth. Girl preach, thank you for that. So everybody's saying, and this one says only white Cubans complain and hate communism. Strange. Cuba is not communist. Cuba is a military dictatorship. That's interesting. That's not true, because in Cuba we can go from the whitest person you can see to the darkest person you can see. So you got a scale, full scale there in Cuba. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm interested.
As you may have heard, many Cubans with permanent residency may now be facing deportation after having returned to Cuba with their permanent residence card. And this is because when you file for asylum and you are granted asylum, and many of these individuals obtain their permanent residency after seeking asylum successfully, they are essentially saying that they're scared to return to their home country. And so when they did return to Cuba, now they are being flagged for committing fraud. And if in fact you travel back to your home country, whether you're from Cuba or not, if you have asylum granted and you are now a permanent resident, you should be very, very wary of traveling back to your home country and not being placed in secondary inspection when you re-enter the United States. It is obvious that you're going to be flagged, and I've been saying this for many years. You shouldn't even travel back if you are a U.S. citizen and you became a U.S. citizen by way of permanent residency, by way of an asylum granted. At any point, you are subject to a review of that, and if it is determined that you became a U.S. citizen through fraud or a permanent resident through fraud, they can try and place you in removal proceedings to take away your citizenship and or your permanent residency. So let this be a warning for anybody considering returning to your home country after affirmatively and successfully getting asylum in the United States, because this will likely flag immigration and give them a reason to place you in removal proceedings in an attempt to strip you of your status.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. If you apply for asylum because it's too dangerous to come over to stay in your country, so you come over to the United States, it's obviously you cannot go back to where you claimed was too dangerous to stay. It makes sense, right? This top one, you guys probably can't see. It says, yes, the Cubans got to go. They were the main ones singing, I will vote for Donald Trump. Well, adios back to Havana. Cubans love Trump and 100% voted for him. This is good for Miami. Is it? Are Cubans ruining Miami or something? I totally agree with this one. What if the situation of the home country has changed? Then your asylum claim isn't valid anymore. If you think that the situation in your home country has changed because you applied to come to the United States because the country was too dangerous, right? To be honest, I don't see any issues with this. It's the law that you can't be a citizen at PM via fraud. Conditions can change in the home country, then you can just go back, right? Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
They thought they were better than other Latinos. Who else is laughing at the Cubans? Who else is laughing at them? Laugh with me, okay? Because they thought they were better than other Latinos, and now they're getting their just desserts. Karma's a bitch, and she's bringing ICE with her to deport your asses. Who else is laughing at the
I'm Cuban. I've been in this country 5 years, and me and my family are all Cubans, and we voted for Kamala, Biden, Obama, John Kennedy. So even the Democratic Cubans are laughing at the MAGA. They're all the same, and still like, hey, F around and find out how it goes. I'm Cuban, voted for Kamala. I'm Cuban Democrat, and I voted for Kamala. I'm laughing in Spanish. Ha ha ha, because of J's. Next video.
As of yesterday, ICE has resumed deportations to the country of Cuba. After a 2-year hiatus, 123 Cubans have been deported back to their country. 83 out of the 123 had presented themselves along the U.S. and Mexican border and were deported, and the other 40 migrants were intercepted at sea. ICE is expecting a surge of migrants crossing into the U.S. and Texas border as soon as the Title 42 ban is lifted, which is scheduled to happen on May 11th, 2023.
And yeah, as I said before, guys, these 2023 videos are popping up a little bit more because of how trend is. Everybody's getting on a new system that was put in place back in Biden's era, seeing how it's affecting Cubans now since everything is getting peeled with the new Trump administration. So you have to be able to see what was put in place and how Cubans were already being affected by those previous deportation policies and what is happening in the current state. So we had a little bit mix of those videos in there as well, so we can all get smarter together. If you like this content, hit the button, comment down below because I really want to hear what you have to say, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.